Happy Sunday evening to everybody. It's the 4th, the 17th, 2022. Your taxes, for those of you who aren't finished, are due tomorrow, 12 o'clock. So please get your taxes in. Don't let or send an extension in. Don't let the IRS come after you for not paying your taxes. Nonetheless, every Sunday we have a talk on something to do with investing in this space. And I have discovered something this week that I think is going to change the game for most of us in this club. And I can't give you all of the connectivities right now about it, primarily because I'm setting it up this week for myself. And then once I see that it's working, then I would present it to everybody in this club. It has certainly given me an eye opener to change some things about what we do. And that's why I've asked Ron to come on the show this evening to just have a talk a little about the crypto space, what he's doing in it, and how he can benefit from it. And then what I'll do for us, as I set up my portfolio in this space, I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm doing it. And I think, and I don't want to give anything away, but I'll run through some of the numbers later after Ron and I have a discussion about the crypto space. And so, Ron, welcome to our Sunday club, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel so privileged already.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
I wanted you to come on primarily so that, and to give everybody a background, Ron was the one who got me started in Cash FX, right? So that account had doubled. I started off with about a contract for $900. And I think I'm sitting somewhere about $2,600. I think I showcased that 2 weeks ago in terms of what some of my portfolios are doing. But like everything else, for those of you who are interested, I think the crypto space has a lot of legs. And I believe that we should get involved. But I'll show you how I'm getting involved in order to get off the rat race within 12 months. But Ron, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Why don't talk a little, because I know you had sparked my interest in this crypto space for probably well over 2 years now, but it took me almost a year and a half before I got back to you to even start.
That's correct.
And you know, for the life of me, I didn't even thought about why didn't I do it sooner, right? Now, someone else sparked an interest in me this week, but they piggybacked off of your interest and accelerated my understanding of compounding investments.
Absolutely.
So talk a little about, you know, your Cash FX and how are you doing in the crypto space, and why others aren't getting involved as much as they should.
Right. Okay. So, but I can stop anyway. Let's just start with Cash FX. But before I go to Cash FX, I took the very same pathway as Devaughn did, and so in 2015. I lost almost about $60,000 just messing around these stocks and what it is, options or something. I was doing options heavy. And, I lost my money, and I told the wife, I said, listen, I'm not interested in no get rich quick schemes. I don't gamble. I don't do anything. I'm trying. I really signed up for the education. And so most people in these spaces, they don't really care about educating you. So if you all have a master teacher like Mr. Dames, latch on to him because most people don't care. And so I lost this money and I said, fine, let me move on. I have a friend who we're in another business doing extremely well. We move about $250,000 worth of products throughout the world every month. And his wife is a friend of my wife. And so we're business partners. We get to talking and she called me up and said, listen, you need to go and find out what he's doing. I said, listen, whatever he's doing, I'm not interested because we need to find our $60,000 back. That's the first thing we need to do. We're not messing around with anything else. I didn't ask you to go put any money in it. I said, you're asking me to go sniff around, to go find out what's going on with this money. I said, I'm not interested. So I left it. We came back off of vacation. I'm just going to accelerate. We came back off of vacation in 2019. And he called me up and he said, listen, Ron, I know you're not interested in anything, but I have something that you need to look at. I said, what is it, one of your scheme things? He said, no, I'm not in no scheme stuff. I said, okay, cool. What do you have me to look at? It's some education. I said, really? What kind of education? He said, well, this is a platform that earns you up to 15%, okay, through an educational ecosystem. And on Saturday, you're paid automatically. You don't do anything. I said, listen, it sounds great, but, somebody's going to take my money and say, no. You control it. You own it. You own the keys to it. Only you can move your money. No one else. So when I heard that, I said, okay, I'll take a look at it. 2 weeks went by. I didn't do a thing. I just told him what he wanted to hear. And he called me back and said, listen, I have a friend of mine who's on the call from Dubai. I'm familiar with the guy from Dubai because we did a lot of other stuff with him, which is doing extremely well, up to probably $1 million in crypto and stuff. But I went in with him because I know this guy is a solid guy. So he came on and said, look, Ron, I know, you don't like these things, but this is something you cannot turn your eye to. I said, okay, well, what is it? He said, it's crypto. And I went like, this toy money thing. He said, don't say toy money thing. Just look at it. I said, well, why don't you take me through it? If you can't do it in a bullet point right now in 10 minutes, I don't need it. So he walked me through the whole entire thing and I was blown away. And so that was the entry level to me with Bitcoin, crypto, learning, what is the blockchain and all this sort of stuff. And what I saw was not just the investment, but I saw a wave to the future. And so at the time, Bitcoin was trending around probably some $3,000 to $7,000 then. Bitcoin is now, it has maxed out to about $68,000, almost $70,000. Now it's coming back down, which is leveling off to some $40,000. But from then to now, Bitcoin is $40,000. Anyone who have bought Bitcoin from 2018, 2019, and they held it, that's the difference. They're millionaires right now. I don't care if Bitcoin goes down or whatever, they are millionaires. And that's the whole thing. This whole entire crypto space is brand new. And so don't mind the banks talking foolish. Oh, they're not interested in crypto. They are holding digital currency. So that is powerful within itself. If you look at what the price of gold is today, and from 10 years, because crypto is only about a 10, 11-year baby, from when it started to now, it has passed gold almost 400%.
Hey, Ron, how does one get started in the crypto space? Or where should you start?
Well, the first thing I would admonish anyone to do is to get education. So the first thing is I would first find out what is a blockchain and what is crypto. But if you want to really just dive in, anyone will need two things. You would need a wallet. Okay, what is a wallet? Just like your same wallet or your purse that you carry your funds in, it's a digital wallet and it lives on your phone. Okay, and so absolutely nobody, only you can access that wallet at any time because you hold the keys within your wallet. All right, there are 12 phrases that you have to make sure that Nobody can get there or steal your wallet or whatever. But that's the first thing. I really don't want to call any names, but I love one wallet that I really, really love, and that's Exodus. Okay, it's universal and it's powerful. It's very easy to use and it's not complicated. So that's what I love about Exodus. And you own your keys. Every single wallet in there, you have keys for. You can stake in there as well, you know, but I don't want to sell Exodus. You do your due diligence. You do your homework as to what wallet you want and what you prefer. The second thing is that you need is an exchange. Okay, so an exchange, just like any exchange, what an exchange is, you exchange, you know, currencies or dollars or whatever the case may be. You need to purchase crypto, so you need to go through an exchange. Excuse me. So having an exchange is extremely powerful. In fact, that's it. That's everything. So exchanges out there, which, well, the number one exchange in the world is Binance. And then, you know, the one that I really love, which is in the Bahamas, it's called FTX. This is the guy, Sam Bankman, I think his name is. He's the youngest, he's the richest, youngest billionaire, almost a trillionaire now in the world. You can Google him. He lives in the Bahamas now. He moved from China because China actually said no to crypto. Then they said, search. They went and bought back crypto and say now they're now owning Bitcoin. So they kind of like, well, he didn't get pushed out, but he saw the writing on the wall. He don't need to be there. So he was looking for a place where he can put his whole entire setup. And guess where he chose? He chose the Bahamas. He said the Bahamas has almost like the best perfect recipe for this type of business. We are very relaxed and lucrative and accommodating for banking and financial services and everything.
And you don't have a tax structure.
No. And see, that's another thing. Bitcoin doesn't have a tax structure. Mm-hmm. I think right now, the president of the United States is just trying to change that, but he can't tax crypto directly, but he can tax the people who do the KYC. So if you have an exchange, you need to move your money after you make that money. Anytime you're moving that money and you converting that back into fiat, the United States is going to have a visit with you. They're going to get something off you. So most Americans and Canadians, they're not bringing their money back in fiat. In fact, you don't really need it. You know, most people are finding ways to actually do peer-to-peer business through crypto, you know. So, and crypto was being moved around about almost 15 years now. You know, these little kids was playing these Nintendo games and stuff. Mm-hmm. They were actually fooling around with coins from then. So I think Madden is one, some other games and stuff, Minecraft and all these things. So when you win, you actually get coins or you get points and you convert these coins. Oh. And so,
hey, Ron, Tori had asked a question. What is fiat?
Oh, fiat is basically a French name for in what we trust. So it's actually money then. That's the French
paper money.
Paper money, mm-hmm. Right. So and that's the most
any currency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the most dangerous thing right now because inflation right now is through the roof with just about every kind of fiat, especially United States dollar. And so the everybody can see the handwriting on the wall that, you know, this thing is not too good. Mm-hmm. And so, let me just sum it up quickly. Everybody buy some Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is $40,000 today. In the next 10 years, it's predicted. You ready for this? Strap in your seatbelts. Bitcoin alone, if you own just one, it's going to be worth over $400,000. Write that down. Mm-hmm. You remember this conversation, you remember this face, and you remember what I said. I am already there. I've completed the program in CashFX. I've helped over 4,000 people on my team, and my community is huge, and we're moving. But the thing is, I have educated them. I've educated them to a point where they understand money, they understand crypto, they understand what's a wallet, they understand most of all patience. There are 15 steps within the CashFX platform. Devaughn has already started. I think he's on the 3rd or the 4th right now, and he's doing extremely well. I've already moved from a $300 pack when I purchased it in 2019. And I completed that, which is a 3-year educational platform. I completed in 2 years. So I did about $100,000 package done within 2 years. So I'm already there.
Now explain that, because you didn't add any more money.
No.
To the program, right? So once you start off with 300,000, you grew it to 100,000, and now that's earning for you as well.
So here is the thing. CashFX is actually a real trading platform. Unlike myself, I don't have much knowledge as a day trader. Devaughn has that information. So with CashFX platform is this. I don't have to know about trading. All I do is I purchase an educational pack. The educational pack has the information on how to trade, how to learn, and all these candlesticks and principles, moving averages, and all these sort of stuff. You learn that. So it's a learn while you earn platform. But while you're doing that, the educational pack is attached to a physical monetary contract. And you have 15 packs or 15 steps that you go through. These 15 steps, let's start at the 300 pack, is lifted, and 70% of that $300 goes into the Forex market. So just how you trade the Forex market, CashFX does the very same thing. They train main pair-to-pairs, okay? So they go in there and they trade. That trade goes in for 5 days. And so that trades 5 days a week, and that can earn you up to 15%. Right now, we're hovering around some 5-6%. With this war going on, it's like almost 4.8 or something like that. But it's a real thing. So you know the market is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And so we understand. But at the same time, we don't have to ever worry about if we lose a trade or if we want to trade, because we don't do that. They do that for us. We let the pros trade for us, and we just get the results. I don't need to own a trading account. I don't need to pay taxes. I don't need to do anything. Everything just runs in automation. It just continues, and it goes and it grows. Mm-hmm. So from 300, it doubles. So when when the trade has reached its maturity, or 200%, okay, we call it a cap, or we call it, that's the contract between you and CashFX. You now have to negotiate with CashFX if you want to continue. Some people only want to double. So your $300 will double to $600. So you'll take that $600 and you'll purchase the next pack, which is $500 at a discount. You don't have to purchase the face value of $500. You just, the difference between $300 and $500 is $200. You see what I'm saying? You purchase that difference and you get to keep the positive cash flow that was left in there for you. Mm-hmm. And you use that same process throughout all of the 15 steps. So that means that every time that you upgrade, you also get money to keep for yourself as you go and grow. Mm-hmm. So right now, I have a team. Me being, we use the same acronyms as bulls and bears. Well, bears are just persons who are not interested in sharing the program. They're just here to, some wealth. And so they do it for themselves. So that means a bear is a lazy bear, and they just double their money. So if you're at let's say you're at a $1,000 pack, when that trade is done, or the 200% comes in, you will have $2,000. Now, unlike myself, I'm not a lazy bear. I love to help people. I love to speak. I love to talk in platforms just like this. So what that means is that I also open up another side of my contract, which is a bull. I become a bull and a bear. So a bull in this means that I'm referring people into the program. So I'm a very aggressive person. I help people. And so I'm considered one of the facilitators or one of the trainers. I'm a director now in this company. And so they see that, so they reward me. And that happens in automation. No, I don't have to work for it. No, I don't have to go sell nothing. No monthly fees and all these kind of things you have to pay. The system recognizes me. And every single time that person goes through the program who I bought in, I'm rewarded through percentages. So I get paid like 3 other different ways. So that means that, like right now, I'm at the $100,000 contract. I'm worth $400,000 every 90 days coming up. I have to take the money out of the contract. I have to purchase it, or I can leave it alone, walk away from it. I can do whatever I want to do because I'm already graduated. But every 90 days, I have about 4,000. So what I'll do, I'll purchase back either a $50,000 contract if I want, a $70,000 contract, or I can purchase the full face of the $100,000 contract, which will leave me about 300 grand. I can take that and I could probably buy my Porsche or whatever I want, start my Airbnbs or whatever, you know. Money to me, I mean, it's very good, but most of all, I love education, because once you have that, you can make money in any of these spaces. You know, Cash FX is just one, because now I understand the concept. I have another program that I'm so grateful that I'm in now, which is called Sapphire or Sapphire. They run Zenique coin out of Dubai. And I was so privileged. I was in that space before Cash FX, and we were actually like grandfathered in. We came in on the second side. And it's a long story because BMW got involved and they bought some shares in it, and they wanted to buy all of our coins back. So I said, no problem. They could buy them, you know, at $30 a piece. I'm holding some really good coins. But at the same time, they said, why don't you all come into this avenue? Because, you know, everybody's here. And when I came in, we actually now, I'm now an owner of an exchange. That's very rare. So, I mean, because I'm in there, I can also bring that to you as well. But being an owner, I'm sitting here now, I'm minting coins right now. And that's going to be done for the next 18 to 20 years. Right now, the coin, you can go on Pancake Swap or whatever. I think the coin is like probably 52 cents or something like that, because it started like almost like 3 cents. It's now at 52 cents. In the next 2 or 4 years, each coin is going to be worth $4,000. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting on some serious coins. I'm sitting on some really hefty coins. So don't think in this space, just do. And so just get started. You don't have to go and sell your house. You know, just take 10% of whatever you have, or your lunch money or whatever, and just put that aside. Mm-hmm. Take $300 and just say, okay, let me just do that and leave it and watch. You'll see what happened in the next year or two. You say, oh my goodness, I am so grateful that I started with that. You know, because Devaughn's story is the same. He started small, and right now, by the end of this year, I think Devaughn, you should almost hit about probably 50,000.
Something like that. That's only in one sector. But yeah. what I really wanted to impose tonight was that you had said something about automation and compounding.
Yes.
You and I had a brief discussion maybe about 2 nights or 3 nights ago when an epiphany happened to me.
Yes.
Primarily because I found a couple of sites really, and I'm connecting them up this week that I will share with this group next week, Sunday. That's paying 3.3 percentage points per day.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter whether it's a weekend or not. One site pays over the 5-day period. Another site pays over the weekend as well. And you can withdraw on a daily basis. So let me go to what that calculator looked like just for a brief second here. So Ron, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And bring up one of the calculators.
Okay, cool.
All right. This is a daily compounding interest calculator. Okay. And I know Ron and I are talking about crypto tonight, but the idea that we talked about 2 to 3 nights ago, I thought it was revolutionary for us primarily because we're all business owners and we are all going after clients and closing them and everything else like that. And sometimes that can take a long time. So what I thought about was, in our business evolution, suppose we can bring in the money from cryptocurrency in order to support the entire operational cost of your business. What then would our businesses look like, right? So I wanted to get to that point to see how compounding can establish what that look like for me, and then what it looks like moving forward. Meaning, suppose I don't ever have a client again, but the company is still in revenue, primarily because they're compounding all the time. So I want to get that idea across and indicate that there are others in the space that are doing it. I think there's a story out there on YouTube with a girl who turned $28 into $2.8 million, something along those lines. And, you know, it will change how we think about even investing in real estate. Yes, we can make the money in crypto, then transfer it and then purchase real estate. But I wanted an accelerator. And the accelerator that I found, let's say we start with, in my case, I'll start with about $10,000 next week, earning 3% per day over the next 12 months. I will include weekends, but I also will include a 50% dividend reinvestment that I get to pull out on a daily basis, 50% of the earnings, plus I'll probably deposit $250 back in weekly. And let's say this thing starts from, let's say the 18th. I'll hit the calculate button right here.
I don't know if you shared your screen. Did you share your screen as yet?
Yeah, you're not saying it?
No, wait, hold on.
Okay, hold on.
Disable participants. Oh, no,
I can see the screen. Change your view, top right corner.
Okay.
Okay.
I see it, Devaughn. If Ron, if you change view, you might be able to put it in to view with a side-by-side gallery view.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, Ron. You on a Mac, right?
Yes, I'm on a Mac.
Okay.
I don't know.
It'll be if your chat's open, it'll be top right to the left of the chat. If your chat's closed, it'll be top right.
My chat is open, and
so it should be just to the left of the chat in the black screen. It'd be a gray and then black. It should be right around the time, video time too, top right.
It's not in apps, right? Because I have apps, reactions, records, share screen, chat, and then participants. I don't have anything else on the bottom here.
You don't have view, top right.
Oh, view options.
Yes, go to side-by-side gallery.
Okay.
And it should put chat to the right. It should put center right, all of us, and then left side a big screen.
Okay. What I'm seeing is just his charts here, the 6 charts. Yeah. And I'm seeing everybody else on video and participants. No, but I don't know.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can switch that out for you then, Ron. Hold on. Let me share this then. How's that?
Ah, I can see it now. Yes. Great.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
All right. So what I put in here is for next week as an exercise, I'll start out with about $10,000 and I probably will increase this. I'm not certain yet, but we have the capacity to go to anywhere from 40 to 60,000. But I just want to get my feet wet with the 10,000 first. It's 3% interest per day. I'm going to do it over a 12-month period. It will include weekends. I will reinvest 50% of it. I will also put $250 back in weekly. And I'll probably start from the 20th because by the time I send it and set up the monies and everything else, I'll hit the calculate button. Now, here's what it briefly totals. Over a year time, my total investment is 10 grand. With the program that I've established, I'm going for about $2.8 million. All right. And I can see here what the daily breakdown is of this. I can see the weekly and the monthly, but let me just go to the monthly because it makes it easier. Mm-hmm. So for the month of April, or the rest of it anyhow, for a 10K investment, this thing, I will be cashing out at about $1,600 for the rest of the 2 weeks. However, that's April. For the month of May, I'll be cashing out at about $7,000. Between these 2 months here, I would have recouped my initial investment of $10,000 cash out. Now, the third month, I'll have the ability to cash out at $11,000 per month. Now, my operational cost, let's hypothetically say in my business, is anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 per month. By June, once this thing is connected and we're doing it properly, I wouldn't have to worry about my operational cost ever again. Because every month after that, I'm doing more than $8,000 per month. So technically speaking, I will end up paying myself quite a handsome sum as each month go on. And I can tell you that, yes, I'm a trader and I can probably hit those numbers with a bigger account, but where my account is extremely small, I'm not going to get up to size in order to do these numbers for quite some time. However, the platform that I found is a high frequency trading platform. And what they do is they sit on the bid and the axe and they trade multiple times. And once I set it up with automatic bots and everything else, the bots would be doing the clicking for me. So I needed a way to accelerate the earnings. Now, we know that in 1 year's time frame, my cash out will be 2.8 million. That's just the cash out, right? This thing is still riding. So the goal now that I'm focusing on is how do I become a millionaire faster, like liquid cash millionaire, right? And I think this is the best way in order to do it. Now, let's play with these numbers. Some may not can start as high as $10,000. I know, let's go to 40,000 and then I'll go to 1,000. So at 40,000, using the very same metrics, I'm going to calculate again, and then I'll come back down to the monthly allotment. Well, at 40,000, it's going to take me probably 2 months, almost 2 months in order to recoup my principal. And then this thing continues running. However, over the course of a year, we're looking at about $9.6 million in there. $9.6 million in 1 year's time frame. And there again, I may go up to the 40 depending on how this thing pays out. But in month 3, right here, where it hits 42,000, or even month 4, it doesn't stop me from starting another deposit at 40 or 50 or 60, because at this particular point, I'm only playing with the house money, right? So why not, at this rate, as long as my operational cost is covered, why not start a second allotment, right? Now, let's go for those who can only do $1,000.
That's more than one. Yeah, what I was about to say with these hedge funding, mm-hmm. you can own up to about 10 or more accounts. You can have as many accounts as you want running in relay. So mm-hmm. just as you are correct. So just you hit that 40,000, you can take that back out. You can double up 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, or you can do another 40,000. And you can just keep on. It just never stops. Every mm-hmm. week you can just take from one pot. And so you can do a lot of really crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, crypto. What we're doing is daisy chaining it into a cycle. So what will end up happening is we'll take the earnings from one, park it into another high frequency trading platform, get the returns from there, park it into another high frequency trading platform. So we'll have about 3 or 4 different areas to park, compounding, and all of it, meaning all of the money that we park in these other places would then be the monies that would be earned from one platform. So after you extract your principal, you shouldn't have to add any more monies to this thing in order for it to really work for you. So there again, if you're starting with $1,000 and you're doing the very same metrics of adding $250 per week with a 50% reinvestment, at the end of a year, you would have collected something like $774,000. But at the end of the day, it's still going, right? So you have different ways of making revenue or making bank so that you can get off this rat race. I kind of like the $40,000 number, and I'll play with that number initially, because once I saw 9 point some million, that's a good number in a year time to retire from. So what we're going to do is set that up with some of the high frequency traders this week and get all the bots clicking. And as soon as they start clicking, this is the number that we're looking at over the next 12 months. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but my number was anywhere from 10 to 20 million. That's pretty close. So if we can do that, then it changes the real estate game for us quite a bit, because now once we hit October, November, December, you're now earning almost $1 million a month. And that's where we need to be. And after 2 months, it cycles out into 2.6 million that you're withdrawing. Now, a lot of the platforms, they only allow you to withdraw 100,000 a day sometimes. But there again, it's extremely doable. And for those of us who live in America, just remember that money is taxed. So be careful how you bring that money in. You can get red flagged, and there is a tale of precautionary there. But there again, those are the numbers and the calculations that we're looking at. And I'm tired of the drip, slow proceeds of earning. And I think at 3 percentage points, that's a very good way of making the move over a 12-month period to retiring and quitting your job and just constantly investing all the time. Now you can really not trade time for money. So Ron, go ahead. I think if you have anything else, let me stop sharing my screen.
The wonderful thing about this platform that you just displayed just now, there are many of them, and they're very good, very good. Excuse me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Now, some of those platforms, there again, like any investing, it is a risk. So that's why we try to cash out our monies. Let's say one of the platforms blow up, you should have gotten your money back before it does. A lot of these platforms, yes, they're very good. There are a couple of them now being regulated, and we'll go through some of those. The regulated ones are doing 10% per week that I've noticed. And that's a pretty good return as well, too. There's one sitting right on the stock market in Manhattan recently. And I'll get into the names of all of these companies later on, so that once I try them out, then we'll have a good idea of how to maneuver in that space. How do we cash out if there's the issue with taxation and such? Well, Tori, good question. You technically don't cash out, right? Keep the money in your wallet. The idea here is, as long as it goes back to your bank account, then that's something else. You may be in a different circumstance, primarily because of your international connections. So you may have the ability to send the money offshore. You can do it that way too.
I can assist with that.
Okay.
You don't have to really send your money offshore anymore. The world has changed. Crypto has
well, there's a crypto credit card, right?
Yeah, there's several of them. And nobody has to ever know anything. The only thing you do, you just pay a membership just like everyone else. You apply for the card.
Tori, we're not talking tax avoidance or tax evasion.
No.
Get your CPA to consult you on the matter.
Yeah, I'm not a financial consultant, so don't swear to anything what I'm doing here. But I live in the Bahamas, so what y'all talking about taxes, that's like a birdie that flies over my head. I'll never pay a tax in the Bahamas ever. Yeah. So I mean, of course, we pay inland taxes, but not up to the level that the United States operates in Canada and all those sort of things. Suffice it to say, this is real, this is safe, this is true, what I'm speaking to you. There are a lot of platforms that they do offer debit cards that are untaxed. You don't have to pay. Once you move your crypto there, the only thing you do is you go to any ATM around the world and you cash it out. They don't know who is John Doe or William Phipps or Mary Jane. It doesn't matter. Okay. That's all. So
for us, Tori, we'll be putting it into a corporation and we'll allow that corporation to pay the taxes that's legally advisable for that corporation to pay. And because we're purchasing assets in the US. However, I think you had asked me a question. Suppose I'm doing business in Mexico or something like that. Well, you can buy property with Bitcoin in Mexico. Right? Yeah. And then that's a whole different corporate structure. So with that said, it gives us another skill set as far as investing is concerned. So we want to have enough money in our pool, even right here, so that if a big deal comes up and it's, let's say, $2 to $3 million in a multi-unit space, and it still doesn't stop everything that we're doing for our businesses here, it elevates it, right? By making sure that our businesses are liquid in cash so that we can do bigger deals. If a $5 or $10 million deal comes around, we don't have to now go to a hedge fund or a family office to finance that project or even to do that project within this very same club. Because why? We now have we should now have the power in order to do that. And that's the whole idea with each one of us getting in the space to make certain that we all find a way to get ahead. Because, I mean, we could be working at our 9 to 5s for a very, very long time. But before we get into that, I see Dr. Christina Jackson is on tonight. Dr. Jackson, can you open up your microphone a little bit and introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christina Jackson. I'm in Melbourne here, also with Mr. Dames, Professor Dames.
Oh, Lord. I answer by anything. It doesn't matter. Just don't call me too late. That's right. Yeah. So Christina Jackson is one of the most gifted OBGYNs in our space. And I spoke to her last week and the week before, just simply about connecting so that if a deal comes our way, we can pool our resources together in order to close it down. And this is it. So with the idea that we all can benefit from acquisitions together in the space, I wanted to make certain that we have a great mixture and combination of everybody within the club so that we can actually get things done. But whilst we're getting things done, everybody can get their money right? So I'll spend the time this week in connecting the dots with all of those platforms and all of those systems. And then I will present everything that I did this week to you guys next week. And I can just give you a clear thought in that medicine is a labor-intensive place. And even though I invest in medicine, if I can answer one question for all of us that we have tonight on our mindset is, if you don't have to deal with employee issues, if you don't have to deal with generating clients, if you don't have to deal with anything other than the development of your automations and your systems in play for your business, the question is, what do you have left? At that particular point, you're now off the hamster wheel. You are now free to really speak your mind and do whatever you want to do. And that's the mission, right? How many of us can get to that level? Because even when we own real estate and we manage real estate, we technically give ourselves a job. But suppose we have enough liquid cash in order to make sure manage all of the headaches in this space for us, then, you know, I see myself now on a boat a lot sooner now with this level of commitment going into this space and understanding what can be done in order to make a significant impact on changing lives. So, Ron, I'm going to leave you with the last word before we get out of here. Dr. Jackson, thanks for introducing and coming on tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. Lots of great information.
I think so. And we'll talk again soon as I connect the dots up. But before we go, are there any questions for Ron as we have him here? So let's spend the last couple of minutes asking Ron as many questions as you like. And Kavon, yes, I know you're going to pay all your taxes. I know that.
What's the name of the program you're researching right now?
This is for me. I am in several programs.
What you were discussing tonight. What's the program called?
One is Sapphire, and the other one that I've already completed is called cashfxgroup.com. So that's already done. But you know, I will forever be making residual income there. So what Devaughn is speaking about, moving away from the 9 to 5, I stopped working from 2020, from the pandemic. In fact, I made more money in the pandemic. I'm an air conditioning engineer. I manufacture air conditioning filters here in the Bahamas and the industry, and I could not do that. But when I saw I was making $20,000, $10,000 a week, I'm like, what? Okay, I already figured this out. I'm not going back to that. I still have the businesses and everything, but I don't have to do that. You know, my son runs that, but I don't work anymore. So CashFX is one of them. And then the Sapphire, SAFIR or Sapphire, it's situated in Dubai, and they own Zanique. And what turned my eye to that was that the government of Dubai has invested in Zanique. The banks of Dubai has invested in Zanique, and the royal family. When I heard those three came together, that's it. I didn't have to think about this. They already have a debit card already distributed, so you can move your money or answer the questions on how you're talking about how to get your money in and out, because everybody, that's the whole thing. How do I get my money out when I get this crypto thing? So they've already done that. So that's in Dubai. But, you know, I don't want to do anything wrong with the United States. I know how the system is. You all must pay your taxes. Don't quote me wrong. So, you know, but to just suffice it to say, anyone, a little kid, can start with $50 or $100 or whatever it is, but within 3 years, that same individual can become a millionaire. A millionaire. Just looking at the programs, they have several of them here. You can be extremely wealthy. Now, there are a few coins that I will just tell you about, and I don't want to get down the road, but Bitcoin is definitely one. Ethereum is one that you can hold. It has a lot of gas fees right now, but Ethereum is powerful because it runs the platform on every other platform, which is, we call it smart contracts. So just like how you see Tesla, Mr. Elon Musk is doing automation with driving and all that sort of stuff, you're going to have coins, or you're going to have coding that actually does automation through every single thing. And so this is going to come into, you know, what is going to happen right now with the second part of this world coming in, all this technology. But the coins are very much a part of this whole entire thing. And so right now, this is just a genesis. This is just a start. And so XRP, if you want to look at that from Ripple, is going to be the banking coin, or one of them. Okay, there's so many things, you know. Tron is the second light layer underneath Ethereum that runs the same smart contracts with all of these other coins. Dogecoin, which is the gaming coin, is coming up. So anybody who is interested in gaming or movies or shows, or what you call it, these football stuff, baseball and stuff, when you want to buy a ticket, there are going to be no more tickets. So you just scan and you run Dogecoin. You can go watch the game. You can purchase your tickets 5 years in advance if you want to. It doesn't matter. But the thing is, you own it. You know, so that is going to be the most powerful thing. People who are getting into these spaces now are going to own it. Imagine if you had owned a gold mine or a silver mine 300 years ago, and now your family sits on that estate. It's the same thing. The revolution is all turning once again. So do not turn a blind eye to what Professor Dames is saying. Please take a look at this chapter, to look at crypto, put it in your portfolio, because it's actually going to be one of the ones that is going to actually take the supreme measure. It's going to be on the top of everything. So yeah, it's going to be powerful.
Oh, yeah. And John, how you get to some of these platforms is you purchase the crypto, and then you leverage the crypto for these platforms, and they require sometimes a very specific crypto. So not all platforms require Bitcoin or Ethereum. Some of them require Tron. And then Tron have 4 different tokens underneath it as well. So there are 4 different versions of Tron.
Right. No, I'm already in the space for 2 years. I've got a Coinbase and a Robinhood account, and I own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin. I own like 9 different coins.
Awesome.
And I liquidated when Ethereum doubled, and then when it dipped, I bought again. But I'm only minimally in digital coin space. My only question was, I'm not a big fan of some of the, generic. Robinhood's not bad, but Coinbase does have some significant fees, although it has an availability of a lot of different coins. But I was just curious, the makeup of the program you're talking about, before I research things heavily before I get in, into the space and involved. I reduced my digital to less than 1% recently just because of other investments, but I'm thinking of getting back in the space more heavily than what I hold now. I just need to understand and research the program before I do it, understand the nuts and bolts.
Well, John, you can still keep your holding at 1%, right? Meaning, and what I'm trying to get at is some of these platforms leverage the coins that you already own. You simply buy a contract on their platform, recoup your money, and keep going, right? So it doesn't have to change your risk or the way how you hold coins or just trade the coins itself. At some point, you're going to leverage both, meaning you're going to leverage owning the coin, one, but you're also going to leverage some of the other platforms that are also leveraging your investment in their contracts.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand the fulfillment. Like normally in a program, you're either recruiting and building through recruitment, or you're doing something with it. And I just want to study it a little more.
I mean, that's a side business for most. Most don't really like to push the MLM portion. However, they like to push the fact that you can grow. If you want to grow a team, you very well can. And that also accelerates your earning capacity. You can do that as well too. And that's also of value there, because if you're going to be in the space, I would suggest each and every one of you to build a team around you to really get the exponential power behind earning whilst they earn, right? So, for example, if you sign up for a lot of these things, affiliated marketing goes extremely great. And all of these platforms that I'm going to show you next week, all of them have an affiliated link or something like that, that once you send it out to your team members and they sign up under you, as they earn, whether through a secondary or a thirdary sign up, you still get bonuses for that.
Yeah.
So so you're already getting the three percentage points platforms, but as you move in the space, you can accelerate that 3% to probably an additional 2 or even an additional 3 percentage points by running a business through. So those of you who want to get into a business doing just that, then by all means, my hat's off to you. But that's why I'm saying this thing is changing the game, because as you can accelerate, whether it be those coins, and you convert that back to cash money, whether it's in your business or something along those lines, you don't have to look for a client ever again, and still keep your team constantly developing either in this space or developing your business in such a way that you don't have too many headaches when the end of the month comes around and you got to write that check for payroll. Hint, hint. So just a thought out there.
John was speaking, Professor. John was speaking to the platform. If you want me to, John, I can, just for education, I can send the link in the group and you can take a look at it.
Oh, please do, Ron. Please
for
do.
the exchange. And so I just sent it. It's going to blow your socks off. You can go on YouTube. You can check it out. This thing is huge. This thing is larger than Coca-Cola. This is larger than Apple. This is larger than Google. In fact, right now, as we're speaking right now, everybody's there. You name it. The CDC is there. Pfizer is there. DHL is there. FedEx is there.
Do you have a link that's good in USA? That link won't work in USA.
No, it doesn't?
It says it's not supported after July 21 in USA.
Oh, good. Well, boy, yeah.
I'll wait. I mean, I'm interested. I'll wait on it as Devaughn reports back.
John, what we're doing is getting I think it's a Shark Surf or something like that. I'm getting Shark Surf so I can have an IP address in any country around the world.
All right. As long as I have that alternative IP address stuff, but most of the people I do website visitations with or business won't allow a blocked IP. So I just
remember this platform has just taken off. And so it's not in Canada and it's not in the United States. But guess what? All of the Americans are here already.
In Asia?
They have their accounts already in America. These people are making money right now as we're speaking.
No, is it in Asia? Because that's another place.
Yes, it's in Asia. It's in Asia, Africa, Philippines, Finland. Yes, everywhere else other than the United States, because the United States is the big boy. You have a lot of regulations. So this is just for education. But when you see what this is a model which I hope the United States coins this after. This here is going to be the largest exchange in the world. Dubai has built it already. It's a monster. Where it's so big, Binance is the largest crypto exchange in the world. And guess what? Binance is already there. And Binance is just a little small smidge to this. So it's extremely powerful. But that's just one thing that you can look at as far as when you're looking at exchanges and owning, But any angle you take, like John said, is very good. Even if you take 3 of your most favorite coins, you're going to do extremely well. Extremely well. Yeah.
I think Tori asked, what's the difference between Bitcoin and Forex?
Nothing. It's the same. It's the same medium exchange. It's just that you have more, how would I say? Well, both are volatile, but at the same time, crypto has more value.
Well, what we use Bitcoin for, Tori. I use Bitcoin as a transference to the brokers that trade using the platform for Forex, right? So Forex is the trading platform. Bitcoin is a currency that they use in order to for you to get your money transferred in there. So technically speaking, what you have to do is you have to buy Bitcoin, you have to find a broker, transfer the money in Bitcoin, and then they convert that to cash on your platform. So you'll know exactly how much money you have on the ticket.
Can y'all use Kraken over there?
Okay, guys. Just to interject quickly about that topic, I would say that Bitcoin is more looked at as a store of value, the way gold is looked at, right?
Right.
But then it's not realistic to trade it in terms of using it as a currency. So that's why it's more being suited as a store of value. But then when you look at Forex, Forex is a lot more stable, where Bitcoin is more decentralized, so it's volatile. And Forex is a lot more stable because it's controlled by countries. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I could add one thing that in studying the space, Bitcoin was never looked as legitimate because it wasn't a government-backed currency. But right now, with all the developments of coins, they're actually moving into the space, which was hard to get into, which is financial advisors and investors who were old school. And they're actually making digital currency that mirrors or invests in US treasuries and bonds for people who are older and for people to hold. And as the national debt rises and as the US dollar is challenged as a world currency or a world backing currency, the digital currency is just going to grow. And as it opens up to more and more people, and also as millennials age into young adulthood and adulthood, they're used to this space, it's going to grow. So I definitely think it's a space that will grow. But like stocks, it's going to become similar to stocks. It's going to be savvy investing that's going to make you money.
Yeah. So I'll say the same thing, but he said in a different way. Would you send a fax to John right now, Devaughn, and tell him that you're going to write some information down and go stand by his fax machine? And
that don't make no sense.
Right, but only us know about a fax machine.
Mm-hmm.
Your young son or daughter will ask you, Daddy, what are you talking about? What fax machine? We don't do that. So there's this fiat, everything that you're talking about, everything which is speaking about money and this exchanges and how we get our money back and all sort of stuff, this is going to be the thing of the past. This is going to be old news. So we don't run fax machines today. We could just simply come on a Zoom and we can speak directly, or I can send you a text via WhatsApp or something. That's the modus operandi. That's the norm. So what's happening now is going to be old news in the next 10, 20, 30 years. And so everything is going to be changed. Everything is going to be digitized. And so if these banks don't get on to what is going to happen now, they're going to be left behind, because the digital world is here and it's moving fast. And what took us like 20 years to do, these young kids are sitting down right now in their bedrooms coding, and someone's going to come up with some new way to do something just like WhatsApp, and it's going to be moving. So in the next 5 years, the world is going to change drastically, and we got to be holding on to make sure that we can understand this thing and move with them. I'm telling you.
They'll be pushing us in our Bitcoin wheelchair.
I'm telling you.
I agree, guys. I agree. And if I could add to that, I would say that, in choosing cryptocurrencies, you look at it the way you look at stocks, where you study the white paper, right? And you look at longevity, you look at long-term application or real world applications that these coins are saying that they are willing to do. And then you make your decision based on that, But I wouldn't recommend that you choose coins based on someone else's opinion. Because it's always right to make your own judgment, but then choose coins that have long-term applicative value.
Very good information.
All right. Well, any more questions?
I'll just speak to that coin as well too. Go on a very well-established wallet like Exodus, Coinbase, Crypto.com. Most of these coins that are already there are there for a reason. Those coins cannot exist if they were not vetted, if they're not on any other exchanges. They have to have a certain amount of volume, trading, liquidity. All these things are looked at, and if it doesn't meet the criteria of these wallets, they scratch. In fact, you probably can't even, it doesn't even come to the market. So be careful, like how what's your name, Kevon was speaking to about these coins. Do your due diligence. Make sure you understand what you're getting into.
All right. Well, I love it. Ron, thanks for coming along.
Thank you.
Christina, thanks for being here with us. And for those of you who are not aware, John is one of the experts in the space of fix and flips. So there again, if you have any question towards John there too, please, you can go to an earlier one of our recordings with John describing the numbers behind a fix or flip. So, and if you have any queries on that, hit us back up and we'd love to chat more. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Have a good night.
Good night.
You too. Night, night.
Good night. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.